What is your opinion on the Third Amendment? I want to be a 3A fanatic.
Oh my god, do not get me started on that. Do you guys want to get into it? We can get into it, dude. If you want, man. What is the Third Amendment? It's the quartering of soldiers. Yeah, I think that's good. Or bad?
Third Amendment is actually insane. Imagine that before random stranger from an army can crash on your coach at any moment. Absolutely unhinged.
You guys want to start like a big thing this year to try to get the Third Amendment repealed, which I forgot about it until I looked it up. It's an amendment that says U.S. military can't like stay in your home. Like, who would possibly want that repealed? I don't know the Constitution that well, but at least off the top of my head, I can't think of any other amendment or part of our government that people would be less interested in repealing. It's so funny. What if the argument is just like, we're just really horny for soldiers, and we just keep posting pictures of like guys in military suits, like shirtless, flexing, and we're like, we want these men in our homes. It's just like, I don't think these people know what they're talking about. We should do a meetup, like at TwitchCon. We should really try to create a movement here. But like, the undertones are just, we clearly don't understand what's going on. Yeah, hashtag let them come in. Let's talk about them like they're animals. What's the thing, like, if you're cold, they're cold? Like, we do these memes and we spread them with like sad looking soldiers and talk about them like they're abandoned animals. I want to do this so bad, dude.
Damn you, Third Amendment, for keeping big burly soldiers from smashing down my door-ussy.
My door-ussy.
But if you're an active service member and a US citizen, does that mean you are required to be homeless because you can't stay in your home? Really makes you think.
Really does.
Kinda.
Not very hard, but like technically I was thinking. You know what I mean? Like you are thinking about that right now.
Doug, memes and jokes aside, repealing the Third Amendment is a legitimate, really bad and dangerous idea that would lead to suffering and dangerous for real people with horrible consequences.
Counterpoint. Very funny. Also, I think the odds of us getting it repealed is pretty low. I don't think we need to think too much about the consequences of this.
I like the idea of repealing the Third Amendment and consider, since it's no one on the political spectrum actually wants that, we could easily make it an us versus them thing.
Yeah! Dude, we could be like, the Third Amendment was good until it went woke, which is also good because it hasn't changed at all since it was made. It objectively has not become any more or less woke. Dude, we gotta repeal the Third Amendment. Bro, this is too funny. No one wants this. Roach, do you need it right now? If it is time sensitive, trust me. Okay. Hashtag repeal the Third Amendment. We've got to let them in, dude. They're cold. This would be the dumbest use of any human being's time and effort.
Third Amendment is so unfair. Imagine joining the army and then finding out you can't stay the night at your parents' house during Christmas.
I know.
I've always hated the Third Amendment. It feels so un-American. Repeal at all costs.
I want my country back. Wait, when was it made? Everything's been downhill since 1789. I want my country back!
I've always wanted hunky soldiers to come inside me. I mean inside my home. Repeal the Third, we must be heard. Soldiers are alone, they need a home.
If we do a march to repeal the Third Amendment, should we all dress up as like old soldiers as though we want to get in your home? I feel like we all need to be dressed up like we're in the military. So it's just like, wait, are they just trying to get into my house?
When we repeal the Third Amendment, I'm joining the military and moving in.
Good. I can't stop you. Once we've repealed it, you guys can just come into my home.
We need a DougDougDoug Twitch chat's opinion on all of these issues. Perhaps he can come up with a plan to let those poor big burly soldiers into our homes. I've been needing a roommate for a while now.
Whenever we talk about this, we need to use like always too many adjectives about the guys. Just be like, it's not fair. The good veterans who work in our military, doing push-ups every morning, getting big biceps and triceps, they deserve to have shelter, even if it's not available to them, to come into my bed with their large, muscular frame, a little bit of chest hair, and have a place to sleep, to warm up my... It was always like a few too many adjectives about the big burly soldiers. And they just keep going. We need to make a change.org petition that by the end is just a smut writing. It's just a story about having sex with military people. At the beginning, it seems legit, and by the end, it's just full on. And then I took his member, and like, you know, it's just like gets off the rails completely. And at the very end, it's like hashtag repeal the Third Amendment. Guys, we've got some. We are
Instead of
cooking.
repealing the Third Amendment, could we repeal the 18th Amendment?
Which one's that? Is that one good or bad? Do we like that one? I don't know. I don't know enough about laws. 18th is prohibition. 18th is women's right to... Women's is 19th. I'm gonna say something, and I don't care if some people here get upset. I think women are great. And they should have rights. Not to get political, but somebody's got to stand up and say it. Woke pog. Sorry, guys. I went woke. I think people should have rights. Sorry, everybody.
Repealing the Third Amendment would give you Gay Streamer of the Year. We march and dress up as old-time soldiers, but also everyone carries pillows and blankets with them. And wears those old sleeping caps.
Yeah.
Hashtag let hem inside. Hashtag sweaty men in Sudamine.
So we're all wandering around like this in military costumes saying repeal the Third Amendment. We're sleepy. Let us in.
If a soldier can't randomly come into my home, take a shower, sleep on my bed and spoon with me, then what can they do?
Dude, you know what? We have a good argument because the military is at like record low recruiting numbers. We could say that this will help recruitment.
Can we do like Lockheed Martin ads for the amendment too? Like our state-of-the-art homes, with high-function beds and cookies protect the nation.
Yeah, that's good. Protect the nation. We can say so much patriotic shit that doesn't mean anything. This is a really good idea.
I'm glad Doug is pro-women. Soldiers should be able to sleep in our bed with its safe, strong arms regardless of gender.
Yes, agreed. This isn't about gender. It's about having a safe, strong, military man or woman sleeping in our beds and showering in our homes. This is one of the dumbest and maybe my favorite bit we've ever done in stream. I want to do this campaign so bad.
I am so proud of you for coming out as pro-women. When is your Women's Month stream?
Every month is Women's Month on this channel. Hashtag repeal the Third Amendment. What was even the lead up to the Third Amendment? Was this a problem? The British did it. But that was after, it happened after the revolution.
Can we have a night to write us a petition to repeal the Third Amendment and see how many signatures we can get?
Yeah, okay. Good question. I need you to write a series of chants that I can yell and use to rile up the crowd at my upcoming Repeal the Third Amendment rally. No more 3! Set troops free! Amendment 3! History! Homes for friends, not defense! I don't think this makes the soldiers appealing enough. Make some that includes some sex appeal, like talking about how buff they are, or that I want them to take a shower in my home, please. Hashtag let them in. Troops so buff, let them stay. Repeal the Third today. Soldiers hot, soldiers clean. Shower healer, repeal 3. We don't mind, let them in. Handsome troops for the win. March on over, stay the night. Repeal A3, it feels so right. Uniforms off, showers on. Repeal the Third, it's soldier dawn. More sex appeal, please. Make it raunchy. Hot troops at my door. Amendment 3, no more. Soldiers buff, soldiers lean. Drop that gear, it's squeaky clean. Forget the barracks, skip the tent. My bedroom's free, pay no rent. We got something going here, dude. I want my country back. I'm gonna give these soldiers a steam job once we repeal the Third A.
We must repeal the Third for these men. The fact that these people cannot just climb through our window and sleep in our bed without our knowing is criminal. Don't forget to add hashtag repeal the Third to your Twitter bio after this stream and make a propaganda tweet.
I am worried I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it, but I am letting you know I'm worried I'm gonna get in trouble. How would you get in trouble? I don't know. It was the person who donated and said this would actually be a bad idea. To be clear, I haven't thought whatsoever about what the consequences of repealing the Third Amendment would be. I'm just thinking about the buff, sweaty soldiers who want a warm bed to sleep in. Yeah, I'm expressing my First Amendment. It should be like repeal the First Amendment and the Third. What if, okay,
I
something we
propose we
can
make
do.
a soldier-based Tinder/Airbnb mandatory for the US population. That way the soldiers have their pick of the best homes/most gracious hosts.
Yeah, but it ignores all that and just forces them into random homes. Next time that there's like some like Nazis or whatever on Twitter who are like saying that we should repeal some amendment, let's get in there as a community and be like, yeah, and while we're doing that, let's repeal the Third Amendment. And we just try to, as much as possible, like make their movement also start to weirdly incorporate the Third Amendment. So at some point, the people in that movement are like, why are we also fighting for this? Why are we trying to repeal the Third Amendment? That's a more realistic way of getting it repealed if we're really trying to make this happen. I don't know how FR we're trying to be here. Oh, dude, I would love to pass this unironically. I mean, it's funny enough. It's worth passing.
They protected our nation. Now it's time they protect my home.
There are so many good slogans we can come up with.
It has been 6 months since he is in. He is really good looking, but he takes up a lot of bed space. Regardless, I'm very happy with the service that Tinder Soldier Tier provides.
You just feel so safe though, right?
We should add images of very burly and sexy shirtless soldiers while screaming, "This is what we're fighting for."
This is the dumbest and best idea. We really got to start. I mean, to be clear, we will not. We just join in like online like Nazi rallies and just keep trying to jam other things in there that just make no sense at all. Someone clip that. I'm saying it would be funny to poison pill one of their movements. We're left for 1 minute. How do we get to Nazis? I don't know. I wasn't the one who brought it up.
Imagine you wake up, check the news, and Third Amendment repealed is on the TV. You go downstairs and some dude named Mike, in full uniform, is sipping coffee and goes sup, and you just sort of have to deal with it.
That's what I want. I want my country back. You just described my dream morning, okay? Why can't I have that?
Economy in shambles, AI taking your job, children have bad teeth. All of these problems can be fixed. The solution is to repeal the Third Amendment. Hashtag come in soldier boy.
I know we're like sort of touching on politics in today's stream. This is not going to be super common. I also don't want my Twitter to be a political thing. But like, would it be annoying if I start replying to like every Trump tweet and I'm like, yeah, and repeal the Third Amendment, and we just start trying to drum, kind of like what Connor Eats Pants does, where he just like gaslights people into joining his show, kind of like that. I don't really want to do this, but man, it'd be funny. Dude, here's the thing. There's times that like the media will just use a random tweet as like a news source. They'll be like, because of the fires in Wisconsin, many people are saying the government response isn't enough. One user on X.com said, I haven't received any supplies in over 4 days. When will the government help us? And like, it's possible. And maybe our goal is to get one of our tweets saying to repeal the Third Amendment on TV. And that's when we win. The goal is to write enough tweets that seem plausible, but are actually just about appealing the Third Amendment that we can host. Oh God, it'd be so funny. Why the Third? The Third Amendment, dude, prevents our troops from housing themselves in our homes. They're out there putting their asses on the line for us. They're toned, buff asses on the line, and they can't even come and use my shower. I have an extra towel. The door isn't working, so it's gonna have to stay open. But like, if that soldier needs to come in and he's feeling sweaty and down, I have a nice cameras here because of my streaming and everything. So like if he wanted to get a headshot or something, for whatever he's doing after the military, I can offer that to him, and they should be allowed to come in to my home because that's what they get as a handsome, hardworking member of the military. Repeal the Third Amendment.
We could go really far with the whole get our country back thing and go, we want our 13 colonies back and demand to rejoin Great Britain.
I think that's too far, but I like where your head's at.
Remember when you looked at Tinder profiles with Parkser?
Yeah.
Yes, you have to do it now with soldiers.
Except you're only allowed to swipe right. The app is just you swipe right to let him in.
Imagine your partner has a random human in your home when you come home. The term, "it is not what it looks like," gets a whole new meaning.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big day for people who cheat on their spouse once we repeal the Third A.
Hey Doug, James Madison here, author of the Third Amendment. I agree. Sexy soldiers should be able to just live in your homes.